The story goes that there was once a kingdom ruled by a kind king and queen. On a snowy, stormy day, the queen gave birth to a daughter. The king named her Snow White after the day she was born. They raised her to be kind, generous, and to have the manners of a true princess, teaching her to help the poor and the needy. They also taught her to share the kingdom's blessings with the people so she could become a beloved and successful queen. From a young age, Snow White had a kind heart and always helped her friends. The king and queen would often take her to their special wishing well. One day, sadly, the queen fell ill and passed away, and the king grieved deeply. Then a woman from a distant land appeared, and the king was enchanted by her beauty. He fell in love at first sight and married her, making her the new queen. But despite her kind appearance, she was wicked, and she possessed a magic mirror. Every day she asked it, "Who is the fairest of them all?" Because she always wanted to remain the most beautiful. Her goal was to take over the kingdom, and one day the king went off to war. Before leaving, he gave Snow White a necklace and urged her to always be honest and brave. The king left and was never heard from again. The people grew fearful, and the evil queen's power grew. She forced the villagers to guard her, stole the kingdom's resources, and enslaved Snow White. She cut her hair and turned her from a princess into a servant in the palace. Snow White had no one after her mother's death and her father's disappearance. Years passed. Snow White grew up, and the people in the kingdom forgot her. One day, while sweeping the kitchen, she heard a thief stealing supplies. She asked him to return what he took, and he explained he and his friends were starving. Afraid of the guards, the thief ran off, and Snow White went to the wishing well. She wished the queen could see the people suffering, and a mouse named Zensa appeared to encourage her. She went to tell the queen about the people's pain and reminded her how her father had helped the villagers. The queen ignored her words but noticed the necklace Snow White was wearing. The guards then arrived with the thief, and the queen accused him of being part of a forest gang. He confessed he was the leader of the thieves and served the true king, so she ordered him imprisoned. Snow White begged for mercy, but the queen decided to strip him and leave him to die in the snow. Snow White returned to the well and wished for her father's return, then decided to escape. At the gate, she freed the thief leader and gave him food. She asked about the world outside the palace. The evil queen saw this from her balcony and asked the mirror who the fairest was. The mirror replied, "Snow White is the fairest." This angered the queen, and she ordered a hunter to kill her. In the forest, the hunter couldn't do it and told her to flee to the enchanted woods. There she met kind animals who led her to the cottage of the 7 dwarfs. The dwarfs worked in the mines except Dopey, who always messed things up. When they returned, they found Snow White asleep and were scared, but Dopey approached her. She woke up suddenly and startled him, but then smiled to calm him. The dwarfs rushed in armed, thinking she was a monster, but she introduced herself. She told them the queen wanted her dead, and they decided to protect her, except Grumpy, who objected. Snow White was surprised at how long they'd lived together and remembered her father's words about the enchanted forest. She got to know them: Happy, Grumpy, Sneezy, Sleepy, Bashful, Dopey, and Doc. A storm forced her to stay another night, during which she taught them how to whistle and brought peace between them. She told them the queen had lied, that her father was alive, and asked for their help in finding the thieves who might know his whereabouts. Back at the palace, the queen discovered the hunter had lied and didn't kill Snow White. She punished him, but he pleaded for Snow White's life because of her kindness. Meanwhile, in the forest, Grumpy tried to drive Snow White away, but Dopey learned how to whistle from her. She helped the dwarfs bond and asked them to take her to the thieves. In the forest, she met the thief leader, Johnson, who told her the king was being held prisoner in the southern kingdom. Queen's guards attacked, and Johnson sacrificed himself to save her. She returned to the dwarfs, where Doc treated Johnson's wounds. Johnson admired Snow White's courage, and they grew fond of each other. She gave him her necklace for luck. But the guards captured him and took him to the queen, who saw the necklace. The queen transformed into an old woman and made a poisonous apple for Snow White. She went to the cottage and tricked her with lies about Johnson, then gave her the apple. Snow White ate it and fell into an eternal sleep as the queen revealed her true identity. The dwarfs returned too late and couldn't save her. Johnson escaped the dungeon with help from the hunter and went to the forest. He found Snow White asleep and kissed her, breaking the curse with true love's kiss. She woke up and told them the queen had killed her father. They decided to reclaim the kingdom. Upon their return, the people stood with Snow White against the queen. The queen tried to scare them with magic and even told Snow White to kill her to take the throne. Snow White refused, so the queen tried to kill her, but Johnson stopped her. They broke the magic mirror and trapped the queen inside it forever. Snow White became queen with the help of the dwarfs and the people, and the story came to an end.